everybody, Metalhead Prime here, and on this video, it's just kind of an update video, just updating a few things. While the wife's upstairs painting a wall that's badly needed it, I figured I might as well make a video. So, just going to give you a little bit of an update on the Oscar that I picked up last Friday. Was it last Friday? Yeah, last Friday. We got these little guys down here in this 55 who are about to go into the 125. That'll happen today. Not going to be in this video, but who knows? Maybe there's another one. Maybe. Who knows? Hold your horses. I'm getting there. But anyways, we got a Frankie update, and then it just turned into a feeding video. So it's kind of like a feeding Firenze until we got to the pool and everybody decided to go to sleep. It's what they do. The second I turned the camera off, they went to town. So, it's my luck. Anyways, that's enough out of me. So, let's get to it. Alright, so we'll give you the rundown of this tank here. The quarantine tank couldn't cut it for that particular fish. So, he kind of went in here a little earlier than I would have liked, but he's not showing any signs of any kind of issues. Once I put him in this tank, he was instantly a different fish. He's alive, happy, and getting along with everybody. Now in this tank, there are a few green terror, 4 silver dollars, as you'll constantly see. 2 red devils, which are Rocket and Groot. There's actually 3 spotted Raphael cats in there that I probably will never see again. And then my Florida Gar Gizmo. And then we have saltwater bitch fish, which is a goonch. And there's a few frontosa in there too. Not the black widows. The black widows are not big enough for this tank, and they probably won't be for quite a while. So they're doing okay where they're at right now. You'll see them in this video. But we put who I'm calling Thanos in here. Since I have Rocket and Groot, why not have Thanos? So that is his name right there. You can see him kind of swimming up, and it's kind of fitting for him. So, anywho's, we're going to put him in this 150 and probably leave him there for a while. He is nowhere near big enough for the pool, as you will later see why. So, that's kind of where he's going to be for a while. I don't believe he's going to outgrow it. So, he may just stay there. Who knows? And here's my little guy, Frankie. My little Fahaka. It's becoming a running joke. But Frankie is in another 150-gallon aquarium, and he's very hard to zoom in on, as you can see. And yeah, this is the reason for building this tank, is that tiny little fish right here. Hopefully very soon he will not be a tiny little fish anymore. But that's going to take some time, and he's already putting on some size. Starting to get some really good color in him. I'm not quite sure male or female yet. I'm not real well versed in these fish, but from what I can see, he's got a lot of yellow, so I don't know if that's what it means, but every now and then he'll fan his tail out a little bit and you'll see like a little yellow stripe around it, or around the edge. So I'm guessing it's a boy, but I could be totally wrong. It might be Frankina, who knows? Which, that'll work too, I guess. And I figure since we're doing updates, what the hey? Why not update the cube? As you all know, we stuck some discus in there from Discus Hans. Also had 2 that were already in there from my local fish store. We've got a dozen Harlequins in there. 3 or 4 black coolie loaches. I can't remember now because they just hide all the time. Every now and then you see one. A clown loach, and my African knife is in there as well. Also, there are 4 Bolivian rams, and there were some Apistos in there, but I don't know. I haven't seen them in a while. So, you know, this tank did have some issues. Also, you can see my Hygar cleaning tool works very well. Well, what do you say? These guys are looking pretty hungry. Why don't we get into the feeding aspect, or the Firenze? Yeah, I know, that was kind of lame. But, hey, it's me. What do you expect? So, without further ado... Okay, so these guys are some of my favorite fish to feed, as anybody that has African cichlids knows why. This is what I feed them. It's Fluval's Bug Bites. I have to buy it in the big canister like that because, well, you'll see why in the next segment. These guys go nuts for this stuff. There's some sort of black fly larva in there and a few other bugs that they just compiled together. And these guys just go absolutely insane, as you can see. You may even see the pleco and the lace synodontis pop in on it. They usually do. And in here, there are a bunch of yellow labs. I want to say 4 or 5 nerii. Also bumblebees. There's a bunch in there. And then you'll see some mixes. And those are a Demasoni and then the white lab that's up there. A mix together of those guys. They're actually really cool colors once they get a little bit bigger. There's a lot of the blue in the face, like you can see the one on the bottom here. So there's no real scientific name for them other than they're mutts. So they're metalhead cichlids. See what I did there? Which I have more that I'm growing out, and I just haven't made my mind up if I'm going to keep them or put them in here, but I'm starting to think about just keeping them because they're really cool little guys, and I kind of want to see what they look like when they get bigger. So I don't know. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. So here we are. We're about to feed the old 150. I feed them a mix of the Fluval Bug Bites as well as freeze-dried krill. I also feed them frozen krill periodically because I like to make sure the goonch eats. He just lays there all day and does nothing, which he actually did get a chunk of the freeze-dried krill here, which you probably won't see it because Sophie kept running into the camera stand. She's a puppy. I can't help it right now. Sorry. But there's the freeze-dried krill from Tetra. These guys love it. You'll see my angry banana go after it. The Oscar, it's actually funny watching him eat it. He'll pack like 6 or 7 of those things in there and chew on them a little bit, and then he'll kind of spit them out and swallow them again. It's just, if you got a weak stomach, you might not want to watch it. But to me, it's funny. And everybody else will go crazy for it. And believe it or not, the silver dollars actually eat it too. But once things got moving in here, I did notice that the goonch did pick up a chunk of that. He actually lunged for it. So I'll probably be separately feeding him later. I'm actually thinking about pulling him out of that tank anyways. Just because he's having a hard time getting to food. I actually have to hand feed him and make sure he eats. So I think I'm going to put him in a tank by himself. But for now, he's in there and he's happy. Nobody bothers him. He doesn't bother them. So all is well there finally. So these guys aren't the most entertaining to watch eat, but the discus and everybody in here, I feed them freeze-dried brine shrimp as well as discus pellets. They seem to like it, so we're going with it. Came with one of the many tanks I picked up over time. These guys really like this brine shrimp. As you can see, I just kind of tossed that in there because it's a huge gaping hole. Kind of easy to hit that target. This one, I haven't tried throwing this one across the room yet, so anyways, you know, you got to have some fun with them. But these guys seem to go at it pretty well. The Harlequins really like the pellets. Also the krill, they don't really care. The discus will just tear that block of krill apart. You know, like I said, not the most exciting tank I have to watch feed, but it is kind of cool when Chucky comes out. He's my African knife. He just kind of zips out, grabs what he wants, and zips back into hiding. Or he doesn't hide sometimes. He's kind of weird. But, you know, it is what it is. Alright, so here we're going to feed the little guy Frankie. Today we're feeding him some bloodworms because he really likes going after those. Usually it's a mix of either freeze-dried krill or frozen krill. He also gets a plethora of snails, so I don't really have to worry about his beak. As you can see, there's snails being transplanted into there daily, and he annihilates them. My Guppy Mayhem tank is full of pond snails, and they are breeding like crazy, so no shortage of snails here. Also, some other tanks are stocked full of ram's horn, so he's got plenty of snails to go through. But here today, he's getting bloodworms, as you can kind of see him. He's kind of hard to video right now because of his size, but once he gets bigger, it should be pretty easier to video him. Okay, so in this tank, I feed them Extreme Nice, or Little Guy, whatever they used to call it. Now they call it Nice, I think. But it doesn't look like anything's in here. But in here, now you start to see them pop out with the food. These are my little metalhead cichlids, as well as the two Black Widow Frontosas that we picked up from Aquatica when we were in Ohio hanging out with Kyle Jaded for the day. And these guys are super skittish for some reason. I haven't quite figured that out yet. But they just kind of do this all day. If anybody walks in the room, they dart away like nothing's in there, even though I know they're all in there. But these guys are fun to watch. Again, I haven't made my mind up if I'm going to keep them all, but we'll see what happens. so here we're going to feed Bobby. And what I usually feed him, what he seems to like the most, is the Hikari Jumbo Carny Sticks. I don't know what it is about him that he just loves them. Also, probably helped him become so massive. I believe that it's very high protein. I'm not sure what they put in there. I think krill or something to get the red. But he seems to like it. Periodically, we'll feed him Cichlid Gold from Hikari also. But he just tends to go for the Carny Sticks more. So that's what we feed him. Got to keep the big guy happy. I know he doesn't look very big in that tank, but it is a 90-gallon tank. And he's in there by himself because he will literally kill anything else. Ask me how I know. Alright, now we transition down to the basement fish room, or basement dungeon as I like to call it. And this is the 75-gallon Mayhem Guppy tank, or Guppy Mayhem tank. And I feed them a mix between the Extreme Krill Flake and the Bug Bite Spirulina Flakes, or Spirulina, however you say it. Just easy to make. You just mix it up. It's not that hard. It's actually kind of saves a little bit on the pocket too. I'll toss that in there like you see here, and these guys just go crazy for it. They go cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs in there. So there's also, I can't remember all of the kinds of shrimp in there, but there are a bunch of shrimp in there as well. And thousands and thousands and thousands of snails. Which is why I said Frankie will not have any shortage of snacks. But as you can see, this is the other, well, one of 3 dirted tanks. 3 or 4 now. Can't remember. And the plants in here are starting to get better. I still think I messed up somewhere. But they are starting to look a little better. There was some die-off, but it is starting to come back. I've also noticed the snails don't really help. And I know it looks like I tossed a lot of food in here, but if I panned back on this, you would see there are a lot of babies in there. Plenty and plenty of fish to eat that. So, I'm not too worried about it. Also, down here in the basement dungeon slash fish dungeon room, we have a 55-gallon quarantine tank, which houses, right now, 4 African cichlids that came from someone local here in town. They put a post on a Facebook site stating that they wanted these guys to go to a good home, and we answered that call. These guys have some oddly fantastic coloring. I'm not exactly sure what kinds they are. They almost look like shell dwellers to me, but I could be wrong on that. So they will be going up to the 125 later, and more than likely Bobby will be coming down into this tank again temporarily while I do his frame, and that sets, and then I get that all fixed back up. That way he can have lids that don't fall in every time I try to open them, which would be awesome. Yeah. And now it's time to film the most disappointing segment I've ever filmed, as I feed the pool Jumbo Carny Sticks. This is kind of disappointing to me. I was expecting more and got nothing. What I later found out was the wife fed them before I did this. Oops. Anyways, they're usually more exciting to watch. But as luck would have it, the second I turned the camera off, well, they ate it all. There is literally nothing floating on top of the pool right now. So, anyways, you're not going to get to see much happen here other than Split's going to eat because he doesn't care. So, I'm just going to stop talking. We'll play some music. I did get some good footage of him at least.